Spears, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Orlando Police Department's first quarter 2021 awards ceremony. During the ceremony, you are welcome to take photos and video. Please stand for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Orlando Police Department Honor Guard, followed by the singing of our national anthem by David Danforth and the invocation by Orlando Police Department Chaplain Mike Vidal.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Before I have the invocation this afternoon, I would like to say a few words. In 1960, when I was only 7 years old, I was this little boy at that time. I had an accident, a drive-by gentleman that ran over me. I had this officer by the name of McLeod. He came to my rescue. He gave everything that he had to make sure I was okay. He looked over me day after day, week after week, until I was able to get back to school. Yes, my back hurt, but he was there for me. One thing that he said to me that I would never forget, I am 65 years old and I still haven't forgotten, is that to trust in the Lord. He trusted that I was going to be okay, and that moved me to trust also. Trust in the Lord, says Proverbs 3:5-6, with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. My fellow officers, family members, we need to continue trusting in the Lord, and we will overcome this pandemic situation. Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today with a humble heart, asking for your precious presence in the midst of us in this wonderful house of worship. Father, we come together as brothers in arms to briefly separate ourselves from our responsibilities and duties that you have bestowed upon our police department, to recognize and honor outstanding officers that have gone above and beyond their call to duty, as well, Father, as officers that are retiring from their years of service, citizens and businesses from our community that have supported and helped our community and city to be a safe place to live. Father, we pray for your divine protection of every officer that are present here today and those that are patrolling and all personnel with our police department. Father, we know that this pandemic has kept many of us away from being able to work together as a department. Therefore, we ask that thy grace and mercy be with all of us as we rebuke, in the name of Jesus, this pandemic, so that we can continue in full strength, continue protecting our city, and return home to our loved ones safely. Father, we also want to remember our officers that are sick, those that have health issues. We pray, Father, that they may feel your divine healing upon their body during this time, during these difficult times, and that their family are being taken care of. We also pray, Father, for our Chief Orlando Rolón, his command staff, and commanders of the substations, their responsibilities and duties within our department, that they would always feel your guidance and wisdom when making difficult decisions, not only in the department, but in their personal and family life. Father, again, I pray that by our faith and trust in you, together as brothers in arms, we will overcome and become victorious over this pandemic. In Christ our Lord we pray. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, David Danforth and Chaplain Mike Fidel. And now, here is Chief of Police, Chief Orlando Rolón, as he says a few words and introduces his deputy chiefs.
Thank you very much. First and most important, thank you for taking the time for being here. Also want to recognize Commissioner Robert Stewart, who's with us here today. He will be joining us up on the stage during Corporal Kirkpatrick's retirement portion of the program. I also want to highlight, before I get to my remarks, this young man who sang our national anthem. He lives in Carver Shores, in close proximity to Valencia College. He is currently going to Valencia, studying in the field of music. And if the national anthem is any indication of what this young man possesses as his talent, he will have a very, very good career in that field. So please join me in giving a round of applause. So we do have some people or some individuals that are watching us on Facebook. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for following us. And I also want to thank the First Baptist Church of Orlando Senior Pastor Dan and your staff. You have always, always opened your doors to us when it comes to our community, not just law enforcement, but our community as a whole. But from the law enforcement community, we appreciate you, and we obviously are very grateful that you have always done this for us in the law enforcement profession. To the best community relations division that any police department could ever have. It takes a lot of planning and coordination to put these programs together, and everyone understands that they have a role to play, and basically they just go into auto mode and get these things done. There's a lot of working parts that go into this, so to the command staff from our community relations division and everyone else, thank you very much. I also want to say how lucky and fortunate I am to have my executive staff, starting with Deputy Chief Eric Smith, who runs our Patrol Bureau, Deputy Chief Jim Young, our Support Services Bureau, Deputy Chief Chad Ocuzio, who has our Administrative Services Bureau. Deputy Chief Jose Velez is not here with us. He's actually arriving back in town. He couldn't join us. But these are the individuals that truly run the Orlando Police Department. It is because of their leadership that I have the ability to address community meetings, this, that, and the other, but they are the ones that are responsible for the day-to-day operation of the department. So thank you very much for the great work that you do. This award ceremony will highlight the best of the Orlando Police Department and the community members and businesses who demonstrated their deep commitment to keeping the city of Orlando safe and a city beautiful. We will announce also our Patrol Officer of the Year. Awesome story there when you hear about him. We will announce our Distinguished Officer of the Year. That is the one officer overall that we have highlighted as the one officer who deserves that recognition. And our professional staff. If it wasn't for the members of our professional staff, to be honest with you, a police department could not function. We will highlight also our staff member of the year for the Orlando Police Department. You will hear stories of heroism of our residents, like the restaurant manager who took the time to report something that could have potentially saved the life of a child. You will hear more details about that. You will hear about the Disney employee whose actions are credited with saving the life of a family whose car went into a retention pond. We will highlight that. You will also hear stories about teamwork. You will hear the stories about officers working together to remove a driver of a burning semi-truck. Stuff that sometimes you just don't hear when we get our normal news coverage. And many of the awards given today will go to individuals called Good Citizenship Awards. It has been said that every good citizen adds to the strength of a nation, and that is so true. As we look back and as we have accomplished what we have accomplished during this challenging year, I am honored to be able to share the stage with you, with the great members of the Orlando Police Department. I am honored to be able to serve in this capacity as Chief of Police of the greatest city in this country, and I am honored to call this home your home. Thank you very much for being here. If I may, so if you don't mind, since we're keeping social distancing, we're going to remove our masks so that we can breathe a little better up here. And for those that are coming up to receive your awards, I'll keep my distance from you as we bring you over, okay?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
When your name or award is announced, please come forward to the stage and stand next to Chief Verlone to be recognized. First, the recipients of the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. The Good Citizenship Award is conferred on a citizen for exemplary assistance to the Orlando Police Department and its employees. These awards are emblematic of what can be accomplished when OPD and its citizens it serves work together to achieve the department's mission to reduce crime and maintain livable neighborhoods. Michael Lee, please come to the stage. On December 19, 2020, at approximately 11:30 p.m., officers observed a fistfight in progress in front of a bar downtown. The officers quickly moved to restore peace. However, one suspect obtained a steel post used to designate the line for the bar and struck two of the officers in their head with the post. Michael Lee, who works as a bouncer for the bar, jumped in to help. He grabbed the suspect and was able to restrain him until assisting officers arrived. One of the injured officers sustained a laceration on the top of his head, and the other officer sustained minor injuries. For the direct action he demonstrated in coming to the aid of officers in need of assistance, Michael Lee is awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award.
Probably curls about 200 pounds.
Jose A. Rodriguez Negron, please come to the stage. On October 22nd, 2020, at approximately 5:30 p.m., officers responded to a call of a male pinned down underneath a vehicle he was repairing. Prior to the officers' arrivals, the victim's girlfriend flagged down a passing motorist to help. Alex Medina Ramos stopped and saw what was happening. Alex went to his friend's house nearby, and he and Jose Rodriguez Negron returned with a vehicle jack and were able to work together to lift the vehicle high enough to pull the victim out and then provided aid. Officers and medical personnel arrived and transported the victim to the hospital. While the incident cost the victim his eye, the man survived. For their quick actions displayed in saving a citizen, Alex Medina Ramos and Jose Rodriguez Negron are awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. If the following could come to the stage, please. Joshua Smith, Nike Factory Outlet. Jasmine Cheney, Nike Factory Outlet. Patricia Jackson, Place of Restoration Center. Kathy Downs, The Bicycle Ferry. The following from the Give Hope Project Incorporated. Ashley Ortiz, Jay Johnson, Bernard Florima, Michelle Keys. On December 12, 2020, at approximately 7:25 a.m., officers responded to the Jernigan Garden Apartments complex in reference to an apartment fire. Due to the intensity of the fire, the building became uninhabitable, displacing 10 families. Officers and personnel from the Community Relations Division reached out to several community partners requesting assistance for the families. The outpouring of support was amazing, delivering essentials such as food, toiletries, clothing, shoes, and monetary gift cards were donated. Over 20 bicycles with helmets and toys were provided for the children. On December 22, 2020, the Heart of Mercy Community Church hosted an event for the families affected by the fire, and they were provided with the donated items. For their generosity in assisting 10 families in need, these organizations are awarded the Orlando Police Department's Good Citizenship Award. If Paul Caruso and Carlton Singleton could come to the stage, please. On November 18, 2020, at approximately 10:15 a.m., officers responded to the area of Southgate Commerce Boulevard regarding a domestic violence investigation. The victim, a 65-year-old disabled male, was attacked by his adult son. The suspect then damaged the victim's vehicle so badly the man could no longer drive it. The victim had no means of paying for the towing or even the necessary vehicle repairs. Officers were unable to locate any agencies to assist the victim. The property where the vehicle was parked is owned and managed by the Pine Lock Management Corporation. When Paul Caruso became aware of the situation, he arranged for Carlton Singleton of C&H Garage to come to the location and repair the vehicle with no cost to the victim. For their generosity and kindness exhibited assisting a vulnerable victim in need of help, Carl Singleton and Paul Caruso are awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. We will now recognize the recipients of the Orlando Police Department Unit Citation. The unit citation is conferred by a bureau commander upon a unit under his or her command that has demonstrated distinguished service to the city and its residents. Will K-9 Officer Manny Florin, K-9 Officer Ryan Clark, and K-9 Officer Blake Broadhurst come to the stage. In 2020, the K-9 unit lost their longtime in-house trainer due to retirement. Since then, K-9 officers Florin, Broadhurst, and Clark have stepped up. Each of these officers have more than 6 years of experience being K-9 handlers. During their time, they have sought out extra training and courses to become FDLE certified instructors. The 3 instructors trained new K-9 teams and put them through the FDLE Basic Patrol course, which consists of 480 hours of training over a 12-week period. These members have also assisted outside agencies with their training and certifying process. They have endured bumps and bruises and other injuries while wearing heavy bite suits and decoying in the extremely harsh Florida weather. All 3 officers have made it their mission to keep the K-9 unit operating at the highest skill level possible and are constantly looking to improve it. For their dedication and teamwork and outstanding performance they have exhibited in maintaining the high training standards of the unit, K-9 officers Florin, Broadhurst, and Clark are awarded the Orlando Police Department Unit Citation. We will now recognize the Community Service Officer of the Year for 2020. The Community Service Officer Award was to show appreciation for the daily efforts of the community service officers. In January of 2020, CSO Robert Everett IV and his training recruit were advised of a suicidal person on I-4 overpass. While keeping in mind the safety of his recruit as well as himself and the mentally disturbed individuals, he began talking with the individual until sworn officers arrived. The male was pulled from the ledge of I-4 by a sworn officer with CSO Everett and his recruit assisting. The suicidal individual can be heard on body-worn camera thanking CSO Everett for saving his life. Prior to 2020, he was instrumental in implementing the LEFTA system in the CSO FTO program. He is now responsible for maintaining and controlling access to the FTO LEFTA training software. He currently is working with the training unit to update training on the crash reporting system. CSO Everett, please remain on stage. And may I please have Orlando Police Department forensic photographer Christine Patterson to the stage. She is being awarded the CSO3 John T. Searcy Jr. Memorial Service Award. This award is presented to a civilian employee of the Orlando Police Department who has performed one or more selfless and compassionate acts or services on or off duty for the City of Orlando or the community at large. At the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, CSO Everett and his wife, Christine Patterson, learned of several law enforcement agencies in Volusia County facing shortages of much-needed personal protective equipment, also known as PPE. As Volusia County residents, the couple felt obligated to help. Christine learned our agency had just received PPE supplies from the nonprofit humanitarian organization Operation Blessing. She contacted the group and was able to acquire 1,595 masks and approximately 150 sanitation kits. Christine and Robert drove to the Operation Blessing's warehouse in Ocala, where they arranged to meet personnel from 4 law enforcement agencies to provide the much-needed masks and supplies. For her selfless and compassionate act of service, Christine Patterson is awarded the CSO3 John T. Searcy Jr. Memorial Service Award. For his exceptional incident, dependability, initiative, and assistance to others, CSO Robert Everett is the 2020 Community Service Officer of the Year.
Commissioner Stewart, I just want to plant the seed that if I ever have an ask for extra CSOs, please consider it. So they're awesome. They're awesome. So thank you very much.
We will now recognize the Patrol Officer of the Year for 2020. The Patrol Officer of the Year shall be bestowed annually upon one patrol officer in recognition of those qualities which distinguish this person as a professional in the field of policing. Can I have Officer Colin Dodd on stage? Thank you. Officer Colin Dodd works in the West Patrol Division on the Gulf Bravo Midnight Squad, where his attitude, commitment, work ethic, initiative, and overall performance stand out. Officer Dodd's supervisor received numerous emails from detectives complimenting Officer Dodd on the quality of work he does and thanking him for making their jobs easier. On 2 separate occasions, Officer Dodd played a vital role in identifying suspects and a victim in homicide investigations. He was able to provide detectives with crucial information to which they had not been aware of. 2020 was Officer Dodd's first full year with the department. His performance statistics were astounding. He was involved in 26 calls where gun seizures were made, and he was the primary officer on most of those calls. Dodd's sergeant is often notifying the division commander of significant arrests he has made. Officer Dodd has experienced numerous vehicle pursuits, bailouts, foot pursuits, armed subjects, and encountered many felony suspects. He has responded to 2,420 calls for service and has made 59 arrests. The City of Orlando is undoubtedly a safer place for its citizens due to the hard work of Officer Colin Dodd. We will now recognize the Distinguished Officer of the Year.
Hold on, before we go to the Distinguished Officer of the Year. So I have a plaque that reads Patrol Officer of the Year 2020 Officer Colin Dodd for your outstanding service and dedication to the Orlando Police Department. But there's something else that needs to be known about this young man, and another officer that everyone should hear. During the academy, and we have a lot of great agencies in Central Florida, awesome agencies. They were hired by another agency, and their heart told them that they needed to be elsewhere, and that was the Orlando Police Department. They caught a little bit of heat when they changed their mind during the academy, but the Orlando Police Department has can be proud to say that we're the only agency in Central Florida where we often get officers to come and join us from other agencies, and with the exception of someone who maybe came from a small agency that decided to go back, we have never lost an officer to go to another agency. That speaks loudly about what the Orlando Police Department represents and the caliber of the individuals that we draw and attract to this great agency. So thank you for trusting in us to be able to carry on your career as a law enforcement officer, and we're very proud of what you have accomplished. Thank you.
Moving on to the Distinguished Officer of the Year. This award is granted annually to one or more officers who have demonstrated exceptional service above and beyond expectations and have made some significant contributions to the department's mission or values. This year's recipient is Detective Emmanuel Gonzalez. The Orlando Police Department Distinguished Officer of the Year for 2020, as stated, is Emmanuel Gonzalez of the Special Enforcement Division. He serves as a corporal on the Overdose Investigative Unit. The unit was established in January 2020 to respond to the overdose cases and Narcan deployments with investigative leads and attempts to identify the dealers responsible for endangering lives. His supervisor has referred to him as the quarterback of the unit. His hard work and superior investigative skills resulted in 2 opiate dealers being successfully indicted for first-degree murder resulting from distribution of a controlled substance, fentanyl. When not investigating opiate overdoses, he is proactively seeking out the dealers of fentanyl and heroin, resulting in several arrests. Detective Gonzalez is also a member of the SWAT team, so he plays an integral role in the planning and execution of search warrants for the Special Enforcement Division. He is constantly the first officer in the stack, and his tactical skill set and leadership qualities shine through during these dangerous entries. He arrives to work with an amazing attitude and a true passion for police work. He is constantly the first detective to the office and always the last one to leave. For his exceptional service and dedication to the citizens of Orlando and the Orlando Police Department, Detective Emmanuel Gonzalez is named the Distinguished Officer of the Year for 2020.
So if I may add, the Overdose Unit is part of the Special Enforcement Division that was created here recently at the Orlando Police Department. And what they have done as a unit is beyond anyone's expectations. But when it comes to getting indictments for someone who's been charged with the death of someone due to an overdose when they provided them with the drugs that killed them, that's almost unheard of. A lot of people get arrested in suspicion, but to get an indictment for it is something that no other agency, again, can claim. So awesome work, great work by our staff, and very much appreciated. Well-earned acknowledgement for your work. So.
We will now recognize the Distinguished Employee of the Year. This award is the same criteria as the Distinguished Officer of the Year and is also open to all non-sworn employees, including all ranks. The Orlando Police Department Distinguished Employee of the Year for 2020 is Audra Rigby of the Professional Standards Division. Audra's primary job consists of reviewing all development and redevelopment plans submitted to the city and making sure these projects include elements that make them resistant to crime, like lighting and landscapes and plantings. This is called crime prevention through environmental design. In addition to fulfilling her regular job functions, Audra trains other employees on how to search and request reports through the computer-aided dispatch and law enforcement records management software, which is not part of her position requirements. Audra has also played a key role in the city's new community response team, made up of pairs of licensed clinicians and caseworkers trained to respond to some nonviolent mental health-related calls for service. Audra created the method to track CRT data, which will be used to determine the program's successes. For her exceptional service and dedication to the citizens of Orlando and the Orlando Police Department, Audra Rigby is named the Distinguished Employee of the Year for 2020.
She keeps hinting that she's going to retire soon, and we're not going to let her. It's the bottom line. So, but Audra, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for all that you do. And again, well-earned recognition. Thank you.
We will now recognize the recipients of the Orlando Police Department Achievement Award. The Achievement Award is conferred for achievement within A call of duty or outside the scope of duty based on consistent performance or specific achievement of a superlative nature. On stage we have Officer Brett Brubaker, Officer Brandon Stahl, Officer Smith Perdelis, Sergeant Sandra Saunders, Detective Aaron Smith. On stage to receive a Good Citizenship Award is Flaviani Carvalho. Ms. Rafaela Sabeda was not able to be here, so she is represented by Mr. Carlos Rodriguez. A restaurant manager for Mrs. Potato, Flavian Carvalho, was filling in as a server at 11 p.m. on New Year's Day. When a family of 4 was seated in her section, she took the family's order, but the father would not allow the preteen son to order anything. While coming back and forth to the table, she noticed multiple bruises on the child's face and arms and his overall quiet demeanor. Something was not right. She decided to write a note saying, "Do you need help?" She then positioned herself away from the parents for only the child to see the note. The child initially shook his head no. Once Flaviana displayed the note again, he indicated he needed help. She then wrote okay on the note. She then called the owner of the restaurant, Rafaela Sabeda, and told her of her concerns. She instructed Flaviana to call the police. Officers Brett Brubaker, Brandon Stahl, and Smith Perdelis responded and met with Flaviani. They continued the investigation by speaking with the family and the young child, who told them officers he sustained his bruises from falling off his bed while wrestling with his stepfather. Because officers had concerns the child was being abused, they contacted their sergeant, Sergeant Sonja Sanders, who was a Special Victims Unit detective before she was promoted to sergeant. Sergeant Saunders spoke with the child and assured him he was safe. He then told her he was beaten all day by his stepfather and not allowed to eat as further punishment. The stepfather was arrested for child abuse. Detective Aaron Smith of the Special Victims Unit was assigned the case and conducted extensive follow-up, resulting in obtaining further evidence against both parents, which resulted in additional criminal charges. For their efforts saving a young child from further mental and physical abuse, Flaviana Carvalho and Rafaela Sabeda are awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. For their dedication and teamwork exhibited during the investigation, officers Brett Brubaker, Brandon Stahl, Smith Perdelis, Sergeant Sandra Sanders, and Detective Aaron Smith are awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Achievement.
You know, this is a perfect example of what collaboration between our citizens and law enforcement can yield. Also, if you see something, say something, this defines it. You saved the life of a child. And the fact that everyone in that restaurant, from you to the owner and all involved, chose to report this resulted in that child being saved. So great job. Thank you very much for doing this, and we appreciate you. So.
If we can have Officer Michael Denton, Officer Hunter Hayes, Officer Michael Ragsdale, and Officer James Wilson to the stage, please. Before I talk about the actions of these officers, let's look at what they did in this body-worn camera video.
We're trying to get this guy out of the vehicle. Things are on fire.
Both of us to pull that? No, I just gotta push it. Okay, hey, oh, sorry. FD's walking up right now, bro. We're coming up right now, buddy. How you doing?
They get on at South Street, they should be able to, there is traffic, but it's moving. They should be able to get. They go the wrong way on
He's pretty bad.
South Street. Did it get to you guys?
Yeah, that whole seat. What's your name? That whole seat's gotta come. No, not just gonna get through this, brother.
On October 14, 2020, at approximately 10:30 a.m., a semi-truck was headed east on I-4 just past the 408 when the driver felt the trailer shift, causing him to lose control and crash into a concrete barrier wall. The semi flipped and caught fire. Officer Hunter Hayes was traveling into work and observed the situation. He immediately notified dispatch and requested assistance as he made his way to the crash scene. Officers Michael Denton, Michael Ragsdale, and James Wilson also responded and observed the semi-truck was on fire and leaking fuel. These officers quickly acted by utilizing fire extinguishers to put the flames out. The trailer appeared to have an internal fire and was still generating smoke. They attempted to remove the driver from the overturned semi, but were unable to do so because of the damage to the cab. The Orlando Fire Department arrived on scene and extinguished the trailer fire and used their heavy tools to extract the driver. For their quick actions on the scene, Officer Hunter Hayes, Michael Denton, Michael Ragsdale, and Officer Wilson are awarded the Orlando Police Department Achievement Award.
So great work by these officers, and I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize Officer Michael Denton. He served our country and our armed forces prior to joining the Orlando Police Department. He is a Silver Star recipient, and if you would please rise and give him a round of applause for his service to our country. Thank you.
We will now recognize the Chief's Special Award recipients. The Chief of Police, at his discretion, may award a Chief's Special Award. It will be presented to a distinguished employee or citizen. If we have Officer Kate Beasley on stage, please. In early 2016, Officer Kate Beasley took on the role of OPD historian. She has been instrumental in preserving the history of our department. While our new police headquarters was being constructed, she met with the designers and builders to discuss the planning and design of the new Hall of Honor. She had a vision of how she wanted our history to be displayed and provided guidance to bring her vision to life. In March 2017, construction was completed. She immediately went to work assembling the display cases in our new headquarters with memorabilia she collected from retirees and the items from the old building's Hall of Honor. The Hall of Honor project took her approximately 2 years to complete. Her design and layout allow the walls of our agency to tell our history of courage, pride, and commitment. For her exceptional service and dedication to the past and present members of the Orlando Police Department, Officer Kate Beasley is awarded the Chief's Special Award. And I'll turn it over now to the Chief Verlone, who will say a few words about Officer Beasley, and then the next Chief's Special Award.
So if there's one person at OPD that is always greeting you with a smile, that is Kate. Anywhere you see her, anytime you have interaction with her, it's just with a positive attitude. And for our retirees, she has been really the link between them and the department. We often sometimes get busy with our duties and our tasks, and we forget about our retirees. And she is the first to always volunteer to give them a tour of our new and beautiful facility. She's always making sure that we're taking care of their needs. And the Hall of Honor and all the display cases tells the story about the Orlando Police Department. If it hadn't been for Kate, that would have never happened. If we had hired a professional to do the job, it never would have been as good as the job that Kate did. It's just amazing. So if you have not taken a tour of the Orlando Police Department, I highly recommend it. The display cases are her work. She will remain with us as part of our volunteer program, and she will also has been tasked now with doing a facelift of our gun range that hasn't had a facelift since we opened it many years ago. So more to come on that. But Kate, we are just so proud of all the great work that you have done. It's, we're going to hate to see you leave, but we're glad that you're going to remain with us as part of our volunteer program. So thank you very much for your service, Kate. So for this one, I'm going off script. So 2020 was a tough year. 2020 was not only a year where we dealt with COVID, but we also dealt with the demonstrations. Like I said before, every police department, of course, has an executive staff, and mine, I couldn't be more proud of them. But oftentimes, someone rises above the rest. And in this case is Deputy Chief Eric Smith. Eric, could you please join me up here? Eric, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate all the extra effort, all the extra work that you have given this agency, probably during one of the most testing times in our history. You are the person that when I call on a Saturday, you're out there with the troops. When I ever need anything that needs to be done immediately, you drop everything that you're doing to make sure that it gets done. You often say this yourself, you lead from the front, and that could not be more true. I cannot be more thankful to have you as part of my staff, and I appreciate everything you have done for this great agency. A lot of people probably will never know the commitment that you have made to serve goes well beyond the 40 hours or 50, 60 hours that we sometimes are asked to put in on any given week. You lead by example, and for that, I want to recognize you with the Chief's Special Award. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you, Chief. We will now recognize the recipients of the Award of Administrative Excellence. Will the following please come to the stage? Gabrielle Fior, Michael Latasamosa, and Dorothy Patterson. The Award of Administrative Excellence is conferred for non-routine conduct of an administrative nature which surpasses the responsibilities of the current assignment. Professional staff members Dorothy Patterson, Gabriella Fior, and Michael Latasamosa of the Administrative Services Bureau, along with Support Service Division Management, realized the process of hand-delivering court subpoenas to officers through the department was antiquated and inefficient. The decision was made to partner with the agency's current policy management software provider and find a way to deliver subpoenas electronically. A pilot program was initiated where the court subpoenas were scanned into an electric folder and uploaded to the officers' accounts. Good news, it worked. Thousands of electronic subpoenas have since been successfully processed. For their dedication, teamwork, and organizational excellence, Dorothy Patterson, Gabriella Fiore, and Michael Lastimosa are awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Administrative Excellence. Can we have Adriana Morales on stage, please? Adriana Morales is a staff assistant for the Community Relations Division, which consists of the Community Involvement Section and School Resource Officer sections. Adriana has also been serving as a staff assistant to the Central Patrol Division, which consists of 10 squads, for the past 2 years. Adriana completes several major tasks for both divisions, including preparing weekly patrol rosters, monthly overtime reports, monthly patrol statistics, and personnel transfer forms. On top of that, she handles all the general clerical work for both division captains and is key contributor to the organizing our quarterly award ceremonies. For her excellence in maintaining administrative duties of 2 divisions, Adriana Morales is awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Administrative Excellence. We will now recognize the recipients of the Award of Commendation. Awards of Commendation are conferred for operational excellence and non-routine conduct and an assignment resulting in the prevention of a forcible felony or serious property crime, as well as incidents involving performance beyond the call of duty. If Corporal Merritt Johnson, Officer Mackenzie Green, Officer Tyler Smith, Officer Kevin Lowe. Good Citizenship Award recipients Gabrielle Andres Carroll and Jose Diaz. Before we talk about the incredible actions of these people, let's show you exactly what it looked like on video.
What's your name? What's your name? Gabriel. Gabriel, I need you to come to me. The fire department's gonna go get your brother and your daddy, okay? Okay, come on, Gabriel. Gabriel, come to me, buddy. Yes. There's a male and another man. Come on out, buddy. No, please help. Help them.
Gotta go.
Here.
What do you need?
Help.
Here, hang on.
Yep, got it.
Here, give me the light.
I'll hold the light for you. You want to take it?
Where are the keys?
Hey, buddy, were the keys in the ignition?
Can you get in?
I need a light. Here. Here. Here, hang on. Here, you need, Lou.
Thank you, Kilo 34.
The event you just watched occurred on December 10th, 2020 at approximately 7 p.m. The officers were dispatched to the area of Lee Vista Boulevard and Vista East Parkway for an overturned vehicle in the retention pond with entrapment. Jose Diaz witnessed the crash and immediately stopped to see if he could help. He called 911, and as he approached the pond, he saw a 12-year-old boy near the door of the vehicle trying to keep his 4-year-old brother's head above water. Jose rushed into the pond to help. Shortly after, officers Mackenzie Greene, Tyler Smith, Kevin Lowe, and Corporal Marius Johnson arrived and saw the two in the water. Officer Greene convinced the young boy to exit the water and learned his father and brother were still trapped inside. The officers shed their Kevlar vests and gun belts and entered the pond to begin working with firefighters. The responders in the water were able to free the 4-year-old and take him to safety. Firefighters were able to pry the front passenger door open to remove the boy's father from the vehicle. The family members were transported to the hospital for evaluation due to their extended time in the 50-degree water. For the courage and composure he showed taking care of his brother during the time of crisis, Gabrielle is awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. For his courage and selfless disregard for his own safety, Jose Diaz is awarded the Orlando Police Department Good Citizenship Award. He is joined today by representatives from his employer to celebrate his acts of service. Thank you to the Walt Disney Company for attending our ceremony today. And for their direct and decisive actions taken on scene, officers Mackenzie Greene, Tyler Smith, Kevin Lowe, and Corporal Marius Johnson are awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Commendation.
Again, another great example of how the collaboration between citizens and law enforcement can have huge benefits for us all. You know, every one of these individuals could have opted to say, you know what, we'll let the fire department handle, but they stepped in and did what it needed to be done. To the gentleman from Walt Disney, obviously, your actions, again, potentially saved the life of that child. So thank you very much for everything that you did that night, and thank you for the great citizenship that you have demonstrated. Thank you.
Officer Peter Meyer. On July 7, 2020, Officer Peter Meyer was conducting proactive patrol in the area of the Orlando Premium Outlets. He observed a vehicle in the parking lot which was being frequented by several people who would deliver large bags of merchandise from the stores. Officer Meyer observed activities which led him to believe booster bags were being used to commit retail theft. A traffic stop was conducted and thousands of dollars worth of stolen merchandise was recovered along with shipping receipts from multiple packages being sent to 2 addresses in California, and other evidence indicating he was dealing with members of an organized retail crime group. 2 individuals were arrested and other leads existed which required follow-up investigation. Officer Meyer continued to work the case and notified law enforcement agencies in California. On October 26, 2020, the California Highway Patrol investigators assigned to the Organized Retail Crimes Task Force served multiple search warrants in furtherance of the retail theft investigation. They identified and arrested the leader of the theft ring and 2 of her associates. Investigators recovered over $800,000 in stolen merchandise and over $100,000 in cash. You can see some of the stolen item merchandise on photos on the screen. For his exceptional investigation into a nationwide retail theft ring with ties to Florida and California, Officer Peter Meyer is awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Commendation. If Officer Kayla Parrish, Community Service Officer Rob Everett, and Community Service Officer Miguel Luciano come to the stage, please. On January 14, 2020, at approximately 7 p.m., Community Service Officer Robert Everett and his training recruit Miguel Luciano were on I-4 assisting a driver with a disabled vehicle. A passerby informed them of a suicidal individual on the overpass. CSO Everett established an emergency channel and called for sworn officer support. The male was only a short distance from them. Officer Kayla Parrish arrived on scene. She observed the male was unsteady on his feet. She grabbed the male and began to pull him back over the retention barrier with the assistance of CSO Everett and Luciano. Officer Parrish made the split-second decision to act as she feared the male would either jump or fall off the ledge. The male advised he was drinking all day and no longer wanted to live. For their quick actions and teamwork, Officer Kayla Parrish, CSO Robert Everett, and Miguel Luciano are awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Commendation. We will now recognize the recipients of the Life Saving Award. The Life Saving Award is conferred when an employee is directly responsible for saving of a human life or when the employee has reached a blood donation level of 4 gallons or more. Detective Chris Ellers and Cynthia Merckx are currently on stage. The donation of a single pint of blood has the potential to save up to 3 lives. Cynthia Merckx has donated 62 pints of blood while being employed as a civilian with the department for over 21 years. Her donation equates to 7.75 gallons of blood. Detective Christopher Ellers has donated 48 pints of blood, which equates to 6 gallons of blood donations. Blood donations of more than 4 gallons is considered a significant milestone because only 5% of the population donates blood for a staggering 60% of those who will require blood. Combined, these two have potentially saved 330 lives for their generosity and their selfless dedication to helping others through the donation of blood. Cynthia Merckx and Detective Chris Ellers are awarded the Orlando Police Department Life Saving Award. Great job. We will now recognize the recipients of the Preservation of Life Award. The Preservation of Life Award is conferred in circumstances where officers de-escalate dangerous and potential deadly force situations in a manner which does not place them in harm. Officer Tracy Kirby. On July 30th, 2020, at approximately 10:30 a.m., officers responded to the area of South Dollins Avenue in reference to a 911 call, advising a male was walking down the street displaying a knife in a threatening manner. As the first officer arrived, the man held the knife to his own neck and started to walk towards the officer. When it became clear he was not dropping the knife or heeding commands, Officer Edwin Joseph and Officer Tracy Kirby attempted to de-escalate the situation. The male said, "Go ahead and just kill me," and began to walk aggressively towards officers, yelling, "Kill me again." In a continued effort to de-escalate the situation, the officers stepped back to create space and safety for themselves and the man. Officer Kirby deployed her taser, which startled the man but did not have the effect on him. He then retreated to the second floor landing of an apartment, still armed with a knife. Members of the crisis negotiation team then responded, and Corporal Robert Little arrived on scene to assist with his SAGE, which is a device to deploy less lethal munitions. When the man came down the steps with a knife in hand and headed towards Officer, Corporal Little deployed the SAGE. The man fell to the ground and was taken into custody. He was then transported to the hospital for a mental health treatment. For the courage and teamwork exhibited in de-escalating an armed suicidal subject, Officers Edwin Joseph, Tracy Kirby, and Corporal Robert Little are awarded the Orlando Police Department Preservation of Life Award. We will now recognize the recipients of the Award of Valor. The award is conferred for conduct depicting sound judgment in which one knowingly and despite clear and present danger of death or great bodily harm performs his or her duty. The Award of Valor is the highest honor conferred by the Orlando Police Department. Sergeant Troy Aki, Sergeant Amir Payamesh, and Detective Shane Overfield. On February 8, 2018, at approximately 11 a.m., several officers responded to an armed man in the former Wahlburgers restaurant downtown. Initial 911 calls indicated the suspect had a gun and then fired at someone in the business and then fled on foot. Sergeant Troy Aki observed the armed suspect at South Street and Huey Avenue. The armed suspect ran away and hid behind a cement pillar while pointing his handgun at Sergeant Aki. Sergeant Aki began firing at the suspect and then began to tactically move to obtain a better view of the suspect. Realizing the suspect was still armed and pointing his weapon at him, Sergeant Aki fired a second time at the suspect. During the incident, Detective Shane Overfield and Amir Payamesh arrived on scene. They observed the suspect manipulating his handgun while behind the cement pillar. The detectives could hear Sergeant Aki telling the suspect to drop his gun. Detective Payamesh sought a position of advantage but was unable to determine Sergeant Aki's location and showed great restraint in not engaging the suspect. Knowing shots had already been fired and fearing another imminent attack, Detective Overfield began firing at the suspect along with Sergeant Aki. The suspect was injured during the gun battle and eventually took his own life. For their courage, sound judgment, and selfless dedication to duty during a deadly force encounter, Sergeant Troy Aki, Detective Shane Overfield, and Sergeant Amir Payamesh are awarded the Orlando Police Department Award of Valor. That concludes the awards portion of our ceremony. We will now recognize promotions, beginning with Captain Jay Drazen. Captain Jay Drazen was born in Queens, New York, and raised in North Miami Beach, Florida. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in criminology from Florida State University. He worked for the Tallahassee Police Department and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission, coordinating law enforcement academies. He joined the Orlando Police Department in November 2000. As an officer, he's had assignments in patrol and served as a field training officer. His career path took him to the Criminal Investigations Division, where he had detective assignments in property, missing persons, assault and battery, and robbery. In April 2011, he was promoted to sergeant, where he supervised officers in patrol, the Training and Inspections Unit, robbery, and the homicide units. In June of 2017, he was promoted to lieutenant, with commands in Patrol TAC and the Crime Center and Forensics Section. While at OPD, he has served on several special teams, the Critical Incident Stress Management Team, Crisis Negotiation Team, the Domestic Violence Response Team, and is currently part of the Emergency Management Team. He was promoted to captain on February 7th of this year and currently commands the Crime Center and Forensics Division. He has been happily married to his wife Lillian for the past 23 years. They have two beautiful children, Tyler 22 and Haley 19. Captain Jay Drazen, congratulations on your promotion. Captain Jonathan Bigelow. Captain Bigelow was born in Detroit, Michigan in April 1978. His family moved to South Florida in 1992. He graduated from Florida State University in 2000. He first worked as a police officer for the Parkland Public Safety Department and was hired to join the Orlando Police Department in December of 2001. He has worked in many different capacities, such as Downtown Midnight Bikes Officer, Central Patrol FTO, and was the Basic Academy Class Coordinator. He was promoted to sergeant and supervised outstanding officers in the North Patrol, Patrol TAC, and the Drug Enforcement Division. He was promoted to lieutenant and served as a patrol watch commander, both midnights and days, then assisted in the creation of the Special Enforcement Division, which is a combination of all four of the department's high liability enforcement units. He was a member of the SWAT team for 13 years, serving as a sniper, a team leader, and a deputy team commander. He now teaches SWAT command leadership and risk management courses around the United States for the National Tactical Officers Association from what he has learned from his time on SWAT. His most cherished gift in life is his 12-year-old son, Colin, and his feisty 9-year-old daughter, Emma. Both are the apple of his eye, and they all enjoy sports, camping, and vacationing. His brother, Chris, is a sergeant with OPD, and he enjoys working alongside him and other close friends he's made at OPD. When asked what makes OPD the best, he is quick to say the outstanding people who work here, all of them. He was promoted to captain on March 7th of this year. Captain Bigelow, congratulations on your promotion. Lieutenant Paul Cody Jackson. Lieutenant Jackson earned his criminal justice degree at the University of Central Florida. He was hired by the Orlando Police Department in August 2002. As an officer, Jackson served in the patrol and the gang unit. In April 2014, Jackson was promoted to sergeant and served as a patrol supervisor, field training squad supervisor, and the West Patrol Tactical Anti-Crime Unit. For the last 2 years, he was a sergeant of the gang unit in the newly created Special Enforcement Division. In early 2020, the gang unit was awarded the Gang Unit of the Year for the state of Florida by the Florida Gang Investigators Association. He was promoted to lieutenant on February 7th of this year. He has been married for 20 years and has 2 children. He has spent countless hours coaching youth sports and giving horseback riding lessons to people of all ages. Congratulations, Lieutenant Jackson, on your promotion. Lieutenant Noelia Gomez. She was born in Puerto Rico and raised in Carolina portion of Puerto Rico. At the age of 12, her family moved to Kissimmee. She attended the University of Central Florida and graduated in 2004 with a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. She joined the Orlando Police Department in February 2000. As an officer, she has had assignments in patrol, international drive bikes, and the Special Operations Division, where she was a motors officer, then transitioned into an investigative role as a detective in the Traffic Homicide Unit. She continued her investigative career path as an investigator assigned to the Internal Affairs Section. While with OPD, she has had special team assignments with Honor Guard and the Marine Patrol. In June 2015, she was promoted to sergeant, where she supervised officers in patrol and the School Resource Unit. In March of 2018, she decided to go back to school and pursue her master's degree. In February 2021, she received her Master's of Science degree in Exercise Science and Human Performance from American Military University. She was promoted to lieutenant on March 7, 2021. She has been married for 1 year and was promoted on the same day as her 1-year anniversary. She has 2 amazing daughters, Michelle, 27, Victoria, 25, and 1 English bulldog. Congratulations, Lieutenant Gomez. Sergeant Marius Gediyon was born in the Bahamas. His parents were immigrants from Haiti who ultimately migrated to the Bahamas due to the political protest and violence in Haiti. He moved with his family to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the age of 8, where he was raised. He moved to Orlando in 2007 and attended the University of Central Florida and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice. In December 2009, he proudly served in the U.S. Army Reserve's Military Police Corps for 8 years. In May 2013, he was hired by the Orlando Police Department. As an officer, he was assigned in Patrol, Neighborhood Patrol Unit, Special Enforcement Division, and most recently in the Recruiting Unit. During his time as the department's military recruiter, he facilitated the hiring and processing of over nearly 100 recruits. He is a current member of the Orlando Police Department Honor Guard and Domestic Violence Response Team, and the At-Risk Youth Mentoring Program, Orlando Dueling Dragons Dragon Boat Team. He was promoted on the 24th of January and supervises the Charlie Bravo Mid Squad, North Patrol Division. He is married to Natasha Gediyon. They have a beautiful daughter, 2-year-old Michaela. Congratulations on your promotion, sir. Sergeant Matthew Bland was born and raised in Sarasota, Florida. He attended the University of Central Florida and graduated in 2005 with his bachelor's degree. He joined the Orlando Police Department in September 2011 as an officer. He has had assignments in the Patrol Division, served as a field training officer in the Patrol TAC, the Special Enforcement Section, and most recently as a detective in the Crime Center. He joined the SWAT team in February 2016. He was promoted to sergeant on February 7th of this year and supervises a patrol squad in the East Patrol Division. He is happily married with one beautiful daughter. Congratulations, Sergeant Bland, on your promotion. Sergeant Edgar Osterno was born in Nicaragua and moved to Orlando at the age of 3. He attended the University of Central Florida and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice in May of 2010. He was hired by the Orlando Police Department in June of 2011. As an officer, he has had assignments in Patrol, TAC, and the Drug Enforcement Division. He returned to Patrol in 2019, where he served as a field training officer, training over 12 recruits, and was the squad's corporal. He is a current member of the Emergency Response Team and Crisis Intervention Team. He has received numerous awards while with the department. On 3 occasions, he was the Patrol Officer of the Month. In 2016, he was named the Patrol Officer of the Year, and most recently named Field Training Officer of the Year for 2020. He was promoted on February 7th of this year and supervises a midnight squad in the East Patrol Division. He is married to fellow officer Monica Osterno. They have one beautiful daughter, Viviana, with their second daughter on the way. Congratulations. Sergeant Eduardo Sanguino. Sergeant Sanguino was born in Venezuela and moved to Orlando at the age of 11. He attended Liberty University and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice in 2016 and a Master's in Business Administration in 2019. He was hired by the Orlando Police Department in January of 2012. As an officer, he has had assignments in Patrol, Downtown Bikes, and the School Resource Officer Unit. While on patrol, he served as a field training officer, training over 20 recruits, and was a squad's corporal. He is a current member of the Crisis Intervention Team, Critical Incident Stress Management, Special Victims Response Team, and the Intelligence Liaison Officer Program. He has received numerous awards while with the department, to include Life-Saving Award for his actions in saving a man's life who sustained a gunshot wound during a home invasion robbery in 2019. He was promoted on February 7th of this year and supervises a midnight squad in the Central Patrol Division. He is married to his wife, Kristen, and they have 4 beautiful dogs together. Congratulations, Sergeant Sanguino, on your promotion. Sergeant Anna Melnick. Sergeant Melnick was born in Denver, Colorado, and raised in Port St. Lucie, Florida. She began her career with the Orlando Police Department in August 2012. As an officer, she has had assignments in West Patrol Division, Central Patrol Division, North Patrol Division. She was a motors officer in the Special Operations Division and then transitioned into an investigative role as a detective in the Traffic Homicide Unit. She is cross-trained in motors, mounted, and the Marine Patrol, and is a member of the Recruiting Assistance and a LGBTQ+ liaison. She was promoted on March 7th of this year and supervises a midnight patrol squad in the West Patrol Division. Congratulations on your promotion, Sergeant Melnick. We will now recognize promotions to Master Police Officer. Master Police Officer Bradley Smith. MPO Smith was hired by the Orlando Police Department in December 2006. He has 14 years with the department and is currently assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division Assault and Battery Unit. Master Police Officer Bradley Smith was promoted on February 15th of this year. Congratulations on your promotion. We will now recognize retirements. Officer Kate Beasley. Officer Kate Beasley grew up in Miami, Florida, and graduated from high school in Ocala. Her uncle was a police officer for 28 years for the city of Miami, and her stepdad was a firefighter and police officer in Homestead, Florida. While attending classes at Valencia Community College, she met a Lieutenant Jerry Haggart in 1992 from the Orlando Police Department. He asked her to volunteer at OPD in the community involvement section, framing awards for the award ceremony and other clerical work. She was able to assist with the World Cup soccer and several community events where she determined she wanted to become a police officer. Upon encouragement from officers, she attended Seminole State College Criminal Justice Program in 1995 and was hired by the Oviedo Police Department. 2 years later, she was back working for OPD. She worked in the northwest sector of the city and became a field training officer. She was later transferred to the southeast sector where she worked evening shift, patrol, training many recruits and becoming a squad leader. In 2008, she became a field training coordinator and then an in-service training coordinator, leading the training in TASER and CPR for the department. She then took on her favorite role yet as a person who qualified all the retirees annually for their HR 218, the federal law which allows qualified retired law enforcement officers to carry a concealed firearm in any jurisdiction in the United States. This gave her the opportunity and honor to meet more than 100 retirees and helped her create the Hall of Honor at the new OPD headquarters. After 23 years and 5 months, she was retiring and staying on as a volunteer to help maintain the history displays and memorabilia at the department. Congratulations on your retirement.
So the first thing is a retirement badge, says Officer Orlando Police, retired. That's for you with your wallet. I'll put it over here for now. We have a retirement plaque, which reads Officer Kate Beasley, in recognition of your 23-plus years of valuable service rendered to the Orlando Police Department. Courage, pride, commitment, October 26, 1997, March 1st, 2021. So we get a quick picture. This is very special. Commissioner, I know you're going to do this for our next retiree, but do you mind reading this proclamation? Would you like me to do it for you? All right. So we have a proclamation to Kate Beasley. The City of Orlando is proud of the services rendered by its employees who have contributed in no small measure to the enhancement of the city beautiful as one of the most progressive cities in the nation. Progress in municipal government is predicated for the greatest part upon the loyalty and efficiency of the employees and on their ability to carry out their duties in the highest tradition of public service. On the occasion of your retirement from the employ of the City of Orlando after 23 years of service, the Orlando City Council wishes to express its esteem of the sterling qualities manifested in your devotion and loyalty to the City of Orlando. Now, therefore, I proclaim grateful appreciation of your long and honorable record of faithful service with the City of Orlando and extend best wishes for good health and happiness, dated this first day of March 2021, Buddy Dyer, Orlando Mayor. Congratulations, Kate. Would you like to say a couple of words? Go ahead, come on. You know you're good at that.
Speechless. Literally, I don't have a speech. But I do want to express my appreciation for everybody that makes OPD what it is. Starting off as a volunteer, I realized what a great agency it was, and being able to have the honor of staying a volunteer after I leave just makes it's hard to leave. It's really hard to leave, but I appreciate everybody. The retirees have been my heart and soul for the agency. They've taught me so much about the way that they paved the way for us, and it's hard not to appreciate them, and hopefully we pave the way for the next generation of cops. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful adventure. Thank you.
Who's joining you here today?
My mom, my stepdad, and my husband, Joseph Beasley, my mother, Nancy Cochran, and Don Cochran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Master Police Officer Nathaniel Greene. He grew up in Quincy, Florida. He joined the Florida National Guard at the age of 17 and completed the Army's basic training after his junior year of high school. Upon graduating from James A. Shanks High School in 1981, he immediately transferred into the active duty in the United States Navy. While assigned to the USS Sylvania on a Mediterranean deployment, working as a storekeeper supply rating, he took notice of the onboard master-at-arms and decided he wanted to change his career rate from supply to master-at-arms, the Navy's law enforcement branch. In 1989, he attended the military police school in Fort McClellan in Anniston, Alabama. He remained at active duty with the Navy for 13 years and then transitioned to military reserve status in 1995. In 1997, he began working for the Florida Department of Corrections at the Columbia Corrections Institute. He later completed a law enforcement conversion academy and then applied to the Orlando Police Department. He was hired on August 22, 1999, and was fast-tracked through the Field Training Officer Program. He was called back to active duty military for 23 months after the events of September 11, 2001. On April 1, 2007, he retired from the Navy Reserve with 25 years of service to our country. He worked most of his career in the Patrol Division. In 2017, he took a position as a motors officer in the Special Operations Division. On March 1, 2021, Master Police Officer Nate Greene retired from the Orlando Police Department with 21 years of service. Congratulations on your retirement.
Nate, thank you for your service to our country, first and most important, and obviously for serving our citizens. As a police officer here in the city of Orlando, I have a Master Officer Orlando Police Retirement Badge with a wallet. We'll put that here. I do have a retirement plaque that reads Master Police Officer Nathaniel Greene, in recognition of your 21-plus years of valuable service rendered to the Orlando Police Department. Courage, Pride, Commitment, September 22nd, 1999, March 1st, 2021. And I have a proclamation. To Nathaniel Greene, the City of Orlando is proud of the services rendered by its employees who have contributed in no small measure to the enhancement of the city beautiful as one of the most progressive cities in the nation. Progress in municipal government is predicated for the greatest part upon the loyalty and efficiency of the employees on their ability to carry out their duties in the highest tradition of public service. On the occasion of your retirement from the employ of the City of Orlando after 21 years of service, the Orlando City Council wishes to express its esteem of the sterling qualities manifested in your devotion and loyalty to the City of Orlando. Now, therefore, I proclaim grateful appreciation of your long and honorable record of faithful service with the City of Orlando, and extend best wishes for good health and happiness. Dated this first day of March 2021, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of Orlando. Congratulations, Nate. Come on, get up there.
Just want to thank the Orlando Police Department for the opportunity. It's been great working here, and want to thank my wife for supporting me all throughout the years.
Thank you. Congratulations, Nate.
Master Police Officer Kevin Kirkpatrick, please come down.
Might as well break out the Kleenex, because there's going to be a bunch of people crying after this one.
Master Police Officer Kevin Kirkpatrick, please come down for your retirement. May I please have District 3 City Commissioner Robert F. Stewart on stage to help present the retirement proclamation. Master Police Officer Kevin Kirkpatrick grew up in Staten Island, New York, where he graduated from New Dorp High School in 1984. In 1990, Kevin graduated from the College of Staten Island with a Bachelor of Science in Finance. In 1991, Kevin began working for PageNet, one of the largest paging companies in America. In 1996, he transferred to their Orlando office after completing applications for NYPD and the Orlando Police Department. He chose OPD and entered the Valencia College Law Enforcement Academy. He was sworn in as an Orlando police officer on May 22, 1997. Kevin spent 2 years in the Central Patrol Division In 1999, he became a school resource officer. He was assigned to Eduardo High School and was affectionately known by both faculty and staff and the students as RoboCop. During this time, as an SRO, he mentored numerous students, helped coach the football team, assisted with physical fitness training for the soccer and basketball teams. Kevlon also created a chess club for students. In 2006, Kevlon transferred to the Community Relations Division. He was assigned to District 3 and worked with Commissioner Robert Stewart and Jessica Steed. During his tenure as a District 3 liaison, Kevlon attended hundreds of neighborhood watch and HOA meetings, providing hundreds of self-defense and workplace violence presentations. He also conducted countless crime prevention through environmental design assessments as well as residential security assessments. Kevlon is the 2020 American Society for Industrial Security Crime Prevention Officer of the Year award winner. Kevlon was the coordinator for numerous teen police, senior citizen police academies. Kevlon has also presented at several preventing crime in the community and IACCP conferences. In 2014, Kevlon Kirkpatrick achieved the rank of Master Police Officer. Master Police Officer Kevlon Kirkpatrick retired on February 1st of this year with 23 years of service. Congratulations on your retirement, Master Police Officer.
Kevlon, I'm going to give you your retirement, Master Police Officer retirement badge here in a second, along with this plaque, and then I'm going to turn it over to the Commissioner, who I'm sure after he reads or before he reads the proclamation, he has some remarks to give that will echo and mirror everything that we feel about you. You have been a blessing to this agency. You are an awesome ambassador to the law enforcement profession. I know that what awaits you are many great things. We hate to see you leave, but I am so proud of you and the fact that you have been able to accomplish this so that you can retire and enjoy this part of your hard work. So with that said, here's a plaque that reads, Master Police Officer Kevlon Kirkpatrick, in recognition of your 23 plus years of valuable service rendered to the Orlando Police Department, courage, pride, commitment, May 22nd, 1997, February 1st, 2021. It has been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. Yep.
The good news is I have no script. The bad news is I have no script. I've had the honor of knowing Kevlon when he used to take care of my children at Edgewater High School. And it was nice that sometimes your kids know the cops know the good guys as well as the bad guys. And so I got a chance to know him as RoboCop on the side of the sidelines at Edgewater High School. It has been an honor to serve with him. There are a lot of small little jokes I've shared in other meetings, but some of you who have talked to him know that when you don't agree with him anymore, his answer is, well, just God bless you. And now I've taken that into heart and use the same thing. Thank you, Kevlon. It's an honor to serve with you. Jessica and I have joined the city together. It was important to me for our district that we show a great deal of unity and a great deal of variety in the demographics that represented our city. And so in that, it was an honor to serve with Jessica and an honor to serve with Kevlon. We are going to miss him a great deal. The good news is he got a chance to pick his replacement, and he's pretty good. I can say nice things about him because he's not here. But Officer Smith is very, very talented and comes to us with a great deal of experience. And I'm not sure anybody can stand up to the example that Kevlon has led. But if anybody can do it, I know that Officer Smith can. So thank you, Kevlon. With that, I get a chance to read a proclamation. What? Oh, what? It's good to have your assistant here to remind you that I need my glasses.
It'll go a lot better.
It'll go a lot better. I'll be able to read one line to the other. A proclamation to Kevlon H. Kirkpatrick. The City of Orlando is proud of the service rendered by its employees who have contributed in no small measure to the enhancement of the City Beautiful. As one of the most progressive cities in the nation, progress in municipal government is predicated for the greatest part upon the loyalty and efficiency of the employees and upon their and on their ability to carry out their duties in the highest tradition of public service. On the occasion of your retirement from the employ of the City of Orlando after 23 years of service, the Orlando City Council wishes to express its esteem of the service, of the sterling qualities manifested in your devotion and the loyalty to the City of Orlando. Now, therefore, I proclaim a grateful appreciation for your long and honorable record of faithful service with the City of Orlando and extend best wishes for good health and happiness, dated the first day of February, Buddy Dyer, Mayor, and me.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Deputy Chiefs. It has truly been an honor to serve alongside the members of the Orlando Police Department, both civilian and sworn, and it has truly been a humbling experience serving the great citizens of Orlando. Thank you all, and thank you to my chain of command, Captain, Lieutenant, and to my squad, my brothers from other mothers. Love you guys. God bless. Please be safe.
Master Police Officer Jose Vicente. MPO Vicente grew up in Puerto Rico and dreamed of being an airline pilot for the same airline his father worked for. Looking for a better way of life, the Vicente family moved to Orlando in 1979. Jose attended Conway Junior High School, where he took a law enforcement awareness class, a class that would forever change his life. The dreams of becoming a pilot were replaced with dreams of becoming a law enforcement officer. Once he graduated from the University of Central Florida in 1991, he applied with the Orlando Police Department and successfully completed the hiring process. He attended the police academy with Chief of Police Orlando Rolone, and they graduated on November 5th, 1992 together. He was assigned to Patrol, Field Training Unit, Recruiting Unit, Academy Class Coordinator, Internal Affairs, Polygraph Unit, and the Intelligence Unit. He trained and mentored more than 500 recruits while assigned as at the Police Academy, some of who have been hired at agencies all over Florida and the federal government. He has also conducted more than 1,500 polygraph examinations for employment, as well as criminal cases involving violent crimes. As a member of the Intelligence Unit, he served in various dignitary protection assignments to include former Presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Donald J. Trump. He also served as a trustee in the Orlando Police Department Pension Board, as well as treasurer for the Orlando Police Benevolent Association, and a board member of the group Guardians of the Shield. Jose would like to thank his family, especially his parents, Augustine and Carmen, his wife, Maria, his daughters, Sarah, Sydney, and Alexandria, and Amanda, as well as his late wife, Becky, and her mother, Gay, for their unwavering support. Master Police Officer Jose Vicente retired on February 1st, 2021, with 28 years of service. Congratulations on your retirement.
Jose, it's been a great run for us. We've been very blessed to have been given the opportunity to serve our citizens in this capacity. It has been memorable, what we have shared. In all honesty, I know you're taking a lot of secrets with you. But in all honesty, couldn't be more proud of the work that our entire academy class did. Everyone served very well at every opportunity that was given to them. You, your parents, the volunteer hours that they put in, not only with the church, but also with the Orlando Police Department, is something that a lot of people don't know about. You have been a friend, you have been an awesome officer, and has truly been an honor to serve with you. We go way back, even before our law enforcement career, during the Boys and Girls Club days, where we used to play basketball together. And again, it has been a joy to have had the blessing to know you. With that, Jose, I'm going to start with your retirement badge, Master Police Officer Retirement Badge. I'm going to set this here for a second. I have a plaque that reads, Master Officer Jose Vicente, in recognition of your 28-plus years of valuable service rendered to the Orlando Police Department. Courage, Pride, Commitment, November 8th, 1992, February 1st, 2021. Congratulations, Jose.
What?
Yeah, go ahead. You haven't left the building yet, so.
I will tell you this much. These 28 plus years have flown by, and this agency and this profession has given me a lot more than I gave it. It's been an amazing career. Orlando Police will always be my home. I will always come back to it. I'm staying as a volunteer as well, because I'm not ready to walk away. But more importantly, more than my career, I wanted to thank my parents, my wife, my daughters, her boyfriend John, for their support from the very beginning. My sister Carmen's also here. And like the chief said, my parents, at first, they didn't want me to go into law enforcement. They ended up volunteering over 20 years at the Orlando Police Department. So at this time, I want my parents to stand up. Stand up. And please help me give them a big round of applause. So not only has it been a family affair for me and my parents, my daughter Sydney and her boyfriend John, who are also sitting back there, also are employed as community service officers for the Orlando Police Department. For that, I'm very proud of them. My wife Maria has been incredibly supportive, and for that, I want to thank all of them. Thank you.
Now, if you would turn your attention to the screen, we have one last video to play. Chief, did you have anything?
Real quick, just like to say, you got a taste of what the Orlando Police Department represents. We're in the business of creating leaders. We're in the business of having individuals that lead the way in Central Florida. And we also display what a great community we serve. Not only our citizens, but our business community. We couldn't be luckier to have the honor to serve you. So with that, thank you very much for attending, and I'll turn it over to the sergeant.
Thank you, Chief. This concludes the Orlando Police Department's first quarter 2020 award ceremony. Congratulations to all the award recipients. Thank you for your participation and attendance. And there's refreshments and snacks at the exit when you depart. Thank you.